Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100% You, a podcast which is all about discovering who you're truly meant to be and becoming the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Bari, and I've been on the self-development journey for the past 14 years and the spiritual journey for the past 12 years. Today's episode, we're going to talk about astrology, the one episode that I've been waiting for so long to actually record it for you because this is such an important topic that I'm so interested about, and I know that many of you also interested about astrology and don't know where to start and how to do it. So this episode is gonna be as practical as possible. As always, I'll try to just show you how to start learning about yourself and to learn the power of astrology and how AI and everything we have today can help you to discover what's your true purpose and just feel more connected to yourself. So let's start. So first of all, I would love to just tell you a little bit more about what is astrology for the people who don't know what it is. So astrology, it's basically, I would say, the technology of looking at the stars, and from the placements of the stars and the planet, you can always know what's the energy that we have down here in the physical reality. So astrology, it's not only, I would say, your personal birth chart and when did you born and all of that stuff that we know, but it's more than that. You can learn from the skies, from looking at the stars, from planets, from the transitions and just the placements of the stars, the cosmos, I would say. You can know what kind of energy, you can predict the energy that's going to be here in our reality, and you can also learn and see processes and learn stuff. So you can learn about countries, about maybe different technologies. You can learn also astrology about the business life cycle to see when does the business establish. There's so many more things except from like your own astrology and your own birth chart. So astrology in general, it's just the science, the technology of reading the placements of the stars, the planets, and understand the energy that it brings to this reality. The one thing that it's important, and I'll say it in a few more times during this episode, everything related to astrology, it's like an outline. It's a framework that we are giving, and eventually we are always above that. No matter what it's reading in your astrology, no matter what's the energy, whatever, you can always choose to be higher than the astrology. So it's not something that if this is written in your birth chart, so that's it. That's finite. You cannot change it. No, we have the free will always, but astrology just help us to understand the energies that we have in our life, that we carry in our physical body, to learn all of that kind of stuff. So the origin of astrology, it's basically something that people has been used for around 4,000 years and even more. So people has been using astrology for thousands of years, and it's used as a science back then. Like people actually learned astrology like mathematics, like science, all of that. So astrology was a very important field that people actually went and studied and learned. Also, in Jewish traditions, astrology has been taught in Kabbalah. For example, one of the oldest books of Judaism is talking about astrology, and actually each month of the Jewish calendar is correlated to different sign. And this is something that I've been asked a lot, if astrology is something that also is known in Judaism and is it legit? And yes, it is. I love, when I started studying Kabbalah, I love that they talk a lot about astrology and take a lot from it. Also in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to know your purpose and your karma and all of that kind of stuff. So in Kabbalah, they talk a lot about tikkun that each one of us has. And many of the times you can learn about your tikkun through your astrology. So it doesn't matter if you're religion, astrology, it's just a map to help you to learn eventually the energy that you carry in every moment. So the birth chart that we all know, so many of the people know about their sun sign. So I born in July. I born in 6th of July. So I'm a Cancer sign. This is what most of people consider as astrology and know about astrology. And here it's end basically. So yes, we have the sun sign that if you go to newspapers and read astrology, it would be just about your sun sign. The problem with that is that it's just a fraction of your entire birth chart and your entire energy. Today, we're going to talk and understand a bit more what does birth chart means. And eventually your sun sign, what you know, let's say if you're born in August, you're probably going to be Leo. If you're born in June, you're Gemini. If you're born in March, you're Pisces. If you're born in May or April, you're going to be Taurus, if I'm not wrong. So this is what most of the people consider as astrology. And that's why a lot of people, I feel like when they heard about astrology, they don't really feel connected to it because many of the times it just disconnects completely from what astrology actually means. I can tell you about myself that I'm a Cancer sign, and growing up reading always what Cancer sign is, I felt related to it in some areas, but like from the point of view of that I'm sensitive, I really feel that family is very important to me. I really love to host, I really love to cook. Like, this is a Cancer sign, but I have so many more qualities in me that I felt that are completely different from what I have been taught or read about Cancer sign. So your astrology, your birth chart is so much more than just your sun sign. And that leads me to the next thing. So each one of us born in different time, different month, the different day, different second, even different place in the world. The beautiful thing about astrology is that in every second, you have different placement of the stars and the planets. And the moment you're born, you basically have your, I would say, cosmic DNA with the time that you're born, the place you were born, the date you were born, the year you were born, everything taken into consideration. And basically, this is like the DNA and the energy you got when you born into this reality. Okay, so if I was born, let's say, in the morning of like 6th of July or in the evening of 6th of July, I'll have different energies. Yes, the core stuff, the core probably planets and energies and everything would be the same, but there's going to be difference in certain placements in my birth chart. Now, what is a birth chart? Birth chart, if you never heard about it, it's basically, as I said, the placements of all the stars, all the planets, the time you were born. And you can download it online. Until like a few years ago, until like 2 years ago, I would say it would cost a lot of money to make one. And the beautiful thing about today's reality that you can literally just take and make it free, and you can explore your own birth chart without paying anyone. And I will teach you today how to do it. So the first thing you should do is to know when you were born. The time of your birth is so important. So we have the sun sign. It's basically the month you were born in. So as I said, I'm Cancer sign. But the time that I was born, each one of us has a rising sign, or we can call it ascendant. If you saw like any astrology reels on social media, you probably saw if you're this sign and you have your rising sun, this whatever, so this is the energy you're going to have in 2026. So rising sign and ascendant, it's the same term basically, and it's the sign of the exact hour you were born in. So I'm actually a Cancer sign, but my rising sign is, I thought my entire life, like the past few years, that my rising sign is Aries, until I discovered Pisces, because like there's also degrees that you have in each sign. We'll talk about it just in a few minutes. So I'm Cancer, rising sign Pisces. So the rising sign is basically how you show up in reality. So if my sun sign is Cancer, this is who I am, what is my identity. The rising sign is basically how I show up in this world, like what's the energy. And basically the rising sign is one of the most important things to know the time you were born, because it will basically tell you how your entire chart looks like. Now, what is a birth chart? Finally, let's talk about it. Birth chart combines from, there's 12 houses, okay? 12. I showed you 10 with my fingers if you're looking at the video, but we have 12 houses for each birth chart. Each house basically means different energy. And more than that, we have also different planets, different stars. And for each one of us, the placement of the houses and the planets and the stars is completely different. More than that, we also have degrees. So let's say, and the degrees go from 0 to 30. So the degrees also can be different from person to person, from sign to sign, from planet to planet. And all of this combine your birth chart. What I want you to take from today, and that's like my number one goal, to be able to just download your birth chart and understand what you're seeing and know what to do with that. Because first time when you see a birth chart, that can look very overwhelming. So as I said, there is 12 houses. You can have a few signs, a few planets in one house. So let's say you can have, 3 planets or 3 stars in your 4th house, and maybe there's no planets and no stars in your 3rd house. So it can be divided really different, depends on the energy that were in the stars when you were born and your exact second when you were born. Also, the minutes is very important because I was born in 11:40 p.m. If I was born just 5 minutes later, my rising sign would be Aries. That's why my moon is Aries, but my rising sign is Pisces. Each one of the 12 houses has different energy. We'll touch it just in a few seconds. So I would say that the houses is where it happens, what's the energy and where in what areas in your life. And the planets itself that you have are the energies, the specific energies that you have. And also for each planet, you have specific sign connected to it. So I would start with the houses just to explain you which house means what. And if you already want to download your birth chart and you want to do it while listening to this podcast, so you can just type on Google birth chart. And I usually use the website called Astrology. It's just a free website. You can download your birth chart there. You need to know the time you were born. You can know the time you were born, ask your parents, or if they don't know, you can go to the government. They have all the documents, so you can download and ask for your birth certificate. It's also free. You can do it online from what I know, and then you can discover what time you were born. So if you want to start now, just go and download it and you will see all the planets and everything. And each planet, each house located in different house. So I'll tell you what's the meaning of each house now. So the first house basically represents your personality, your physical body, how you show up into this world, your appearance, what type of impression people have on you, everything that's related to just your personality, your physical body. That's first house. Second house is represent your money, represent resources, represent your self-worth, everything related to it. So when you see specific planets or specific signs and whatever inside this house, you can understand better and learn your energy towards self-worth, to understand your energies toward money, toward resources, etc. Third house is the world around you. It represents your communication styles, how you interact with people. It represents also siblings, your neighbors, everything related to people around you and your interaction with them, relationships. Also your intellect, everything related to, I would say, communication, people. That's the third house. Fourth house is your foundation. It represents your home, represents your family roots. If you have a lot of energies centered in the fourth house, so you know that family and all of that kind of stuff, very important in your life, and it's part of your energy. Let's say I have a lot of energies centered in the fourth house. So your family roots, your private life, how your parents influence your foundation, your base, how you grew up, everything related to family and roots is in the fourth house. Fifth house is the creative expression. It represents romance, fun, hobbies, represents children, how you take risk, joy. Everything related to expression is basically located in the fifth house. Sixth house represents your daily stuff, how you show up every day. It's your physical health habits. It's your work routine. all of your habits, routines, everything, your task, how you approach to task, your everyday lifestyle, I would say, and how you interact with people in your everyday life. So 6th house, more everyday environment. 7th house, this is the area of committed relationship, marriage, business partnership, everything more related to one-on-one, to more commitment. So this is the 7th house, I would say commitment. 8th house represents deep experience. It can cover intimacy, other people's money, like taxes or inheritance, and everything related also to like psychological transformation you're going throughout your life also would go inside the 8th house. The 9th house is where you search for meaning. So this is a little bit more broad. This is like long distance travel, everything related to like traveling, philosophy, higher education, studying. It can be your spiritual belief system, everything related more to like exploring and learning and search for meaning it's in the 9th house. And again, once you understand what planets, what signs you have inside the 9th house, it will be easier for you also to understand where you need to find the meaning or whatever. House number 10 represents your public life. It's your career, your reputation, your status in the world, your ambition, everything related more to your public life, how you appear. Maybe if you have status, maybe if people know you, maybe if you're famous. All of that related to the 10th house. 11th house is the area of the collective. So it represents social groups, friendships, network, everything related to society, everything related to the collective. And the 12th house is the subconscious. Everything that is hidden. This is the house of the subconscious, solitude, spiritual growth, and the things that happening like behind the scenes that may be unconsciously happening in your life. So this is the 12 houses. Now we'll go about each planet and what does it mean. So each one of us, maybe you heard like my moon is in this sign, my Venus in this sign. So the thing that you probably heard as I say is what is your sun sign, but we have so much more than that. Each one of us has different planets inside our birth chart. And for each planet, we have also the energy of that sign, the sign from the specific time we were born. So maybe your moon is in Pisces, maybe your moon is in Aries, maybe your moon is in Leo. You can learn a lot from understanding like what's the sign you have in specific planet. And not only it's what sign you have in what planet, but also in what house do you have it. And also like what degree do you have of the sign inside the planet, inside the house. So it's kind of a chain of stuff, but eventually it represents your entire map of your identity, which is very cool once you start to understand because each map looks completely different. And that's what I actually love. Also, we'll soon talk about how to use AI and everything to discover and learn more about your personal chart. And how to also do astrology very personalized to your energies. So I want to cover quickly the planets and what does each planet mean. So we have the sun sign, which you probably know. It's the core identity, your ego, your primary identity. This is it just represents you. So I'm a Cancer sign. This is my identity more. The moon sign is your emotional landscape. It's your habits, your inner world. It's everything more related to emotions. You know how people say, yeah, there is a full moon tonight or something related to the moon. So the emotions are going crazy. So moon is everything related to your emotions. Mercury sign is your voice and everything more related to data, I would say. So Mercury represents your mind and your voice. It's basically how you tell about the world, about stuff. So it's communication styles, it's how you learn your daily logic because it's everything related to the mind. What is your problem solving skill? How you organize your day. It's also related to technology. Venus, it's what you value. It's how you attract love and your relationship and beauty. So I can tell you about myself that I have Leo in Venus, which is basically And once I actually learned and understand it, it made a lot of sense about my love life, because I love big romance stuff. I love big gestures. Like, I love everything like in the movies. I wish for myself to have love at first sight and all that kind of stuff. So this is very much Leo and Venus. Once you understand what's your like sign in Venus, it will be easier to understand how you love to be loved also. So if you have a partner right now, it's also fun to know what he or she has in Venus and understand how they love to be loved and everything related to it. So Mars sign is your drive, your passion. It's how you take actions in this world. The sign that you have there is very much telling you what's your drive, what's your passion, like how you approach this world and with what actions. So it's also very interesting to learn it. Jupiter is everything related to luck, to optimism, and where you find abundance. Also understand what sign you have in Jupiter is understanding basically how you can find abundance in your life easier and like what is very natural to you. Saturn is your discipline, your boundaries, everything related to hard work that required you for growth. Uranus is representing more like sudden changes in your life and innovation. It's also, I would say, being rebellion. It's about innovation, about freedom. Neptune is your intuition, your dreams, and your spiritual connection. I can tell you that a lot of people my age, because there's like certain planets that it takes them a few years to move. So a lot of people my age I know has Aquarius in Uranus and Neptune, which means basically it's like more innovative and like technology and very open to technology, very spiritual people. So that's a cool fact. And lastly, Pluto is your power for deep transformation and the ability to die and be reborn again in a new way. So this is basically the planets. All of us has this planet in our birth chart. There are more stuff and more things that you can learn about your birth chart. And if you're going to download it, you're going to see it. As I said, for each planet, each sign, you also have the degrees, which gives you a little bit more understanding of the placement and the specific energy you have. Now, one of the coolest things that you're going to thank me for this, that we have, it's not a planet, but each one of us has in our birth chart South Node and North Node, this is the thing that's gonna tell you what's your purpose in this life. Let's start from the South Node. South Node is basically, it's where you came from. It's all the energy of your past life. It's the cumulative energy of your past life. So South Node is basically represents familiar patterns. It's the energy that you hold, that you were holding for a few past lives. So it's something you're very familiar with. It's your natural stuff. It's where your karma lays in. It's natural talents. So once you know your South Node, you understand this is something I'm very good at. This is my natural stuff, natural things. It's your survival strategies because this is what you know. It's what feels safe to you. A lot of the times also it's like on the bad side of it, it's the things you're going to do automatically. Like if you are trying to change your life or identity, the sign that you have in your South Node would be the energy that whenever you try to grow and get out of your comfort zone, that would be the energy that you're going to always try to find. And once you learn to understand and identify it, you will know that this is your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your South Node. It's the understanding of this is where I came from, this is what's comfortable to me, but I'm not growing here and this is not my purpose. It's something that can help me to grow to my purpose. But if you're going to stay just in your South Node energy, you will feel unfulfilled with your life and you will feel in a loop with the same lesson. So understanding your South Node is so important. You understand basically where you came from and you understand that this is the energy you hold in yourself that feels very familiar, but this is not the energy you meant to have in your life eventually. Your purpose lies in the North Node. And if we go for a second for Kabbalah and like part of the Judaism. So in Judaism, you have the tikkun that each one of us came here to do. Once you learn your north node and south node, the north node basically shows you the direction for your tikkun and how to appear in this world. So let's go to the north node. So the north node is where you need to go in order to feel aligned with your purpose. So north node is represented by growth, soul expansion, what you're learning in this lifetime. It often feels uncomfortable. It feels unfamiliar. It feels very scary. Every time you try to do something that represents your north node, you feel scary. But once you actually move there and start doing what's your north node represents, you feel meaning, alignment, fulfillment, like you just reach your purpose. And I'll give you a personal example because I feel like just listening to this episode with all the details can be maybe hard. So I'll give you specific things. So my north node is in Leo and my south node is in Aquarius. Now, if you're born in 1999, you probably also have North Node in Leo and South Node in Aquarius, because the North Node and South Node, they usually move every 18 months. So usually your friends that are your age gonna have also like the same purpose in life. So I learned this year that my North Node in Leo. What does this mean? That means that my purpose in life is to be on the stage, be in front of people, be in front of cameras, be out there, be the one who people know and recognize, be the one who don't afraid to be bold and do, big stuff. Just Leo energy. Once you understand your North Node, what's your sign there? This is the energy you need to embody. So my North Node is in Leo. In order to feel purpose and alignment with what I came to do in this world, I need to embody the energy of Leo, which is insane because like I'm a Cancer sign. And as I said, like for me, when I heard about just Cancer sun, it didn't make any sense for me. Like it made sense a bit, but not very much, because I always was drawn from a very young age. I wanted to be out there, to do something on my own, to make sure that people recognize me. And I was always scared and I was not sure that this is my purpose, because this Aquarius sign, it's an energy of collectiveness, of everyone in peace, everyone together, there is no one above the other. So this is Aquarius energy. And once I learned that my South Node, which is basically my karma, my past lives energy, lies in Aquarius, again, and every time when you try to get out of your comfort zone and it starts to feel scary, the energy that you're going to pull back to is going to be your South Node. So once I learned this, and I learned that every time I get out of my comfort zone, I pull back and try to go back to the Aquarius energy, which is the togetherness, to be on the same level with everyone. So this is like my karma, this is like my past life, whatever energy. And I realized that this is not the energy that I need to embody. I need to embody the energy of I'm the leader, I'm on the stage, I don't care about like everyone else, I'm shining, I'm loud, I'm bold. Once I realized this is the energy that I need to embody in order to be in alignment with my purpose, I started this podcast. I started posting more social media. I just understood that it makes sense, because it always felt so good for me doing those kind of stuff, being in front of people, being out there, feel seen. But every time I did it, I start feel scared that I'm taking space of other people, that everyone needs to be the same, that everyone needs to be in peace. And once I learned that this is actually my purpose, to just be bold and be the one who just above others, I would say, in the most simple words. It's not, you see, again, I'm trying to do that queer stuff. Everyone is the same. Everyone is this, everyone is that. But no, I meant for more. I meant to be the one who bold that people are looking up to. Once I learned that this is my energy, this is the energy I need to embody, everything clicked and changed. And this was just a few months ago. So you should go and check what's your north node and what's your south node. And you will know it. You can know it also without the time you were born, but the time you were born gonna give you just another side and another aspect of it. So if you remember, we talked about the houses. So you have the north node and the south node, but it's also important to understand in which house you have each one of them. So I talked with my friend once I realized the north node stuff, and she also has it because we born in the same year. And we realized that she has her north node in Leo in certain house, and I have it in different. So it looks a little bit different. From what I remember, my north node, if I'm not wrong, is in the 6th house or the 7th house. The 6th house or the 5th house. So the 6th house, as we said, it's represent the everyday life. Yeah. My north node in Leo in the 6th house. So 6th house is the everyday life. So my purpose is to be bold, to be in front of everyone, to be on the stage, to be out there every day in the small stuff. It's the consistency of showing up every day. It's how I approach stuff. It's how I approach the everyday thing in my life. This is my purpose. So you should check where is your north node, your south node, and in which houses, because it's going to tell you so much. So as we said, my north node in Leo in the 6th house, but my my south node, it's exactly in the opposite way. It's so it's in the 12th house, the Aquarius. So it's represent more the subconscious, represents the spiritual growth. So everything related to spiritual growth, solitude, etc., related to Aquarius, which is like innovation, technology. It's everyone is the same group, communities, and related to subconscious. This is something that for me is a very familiar energy because this is like my past lives. So yeah, north node, south node, you should check it out and thank me later. And if you checked it and you found out something new, please tell me. I love hearing people find out like their purpose. This is the most fun thing in the world. So we talked about our personal birth chart. How can we read our birth chart? First of all, as I said, you're going to download it from the internet. Just write birth chart and make your own based on your time, location, where you're born, the date and everything, and download it. Different websites looks different. Maybe they're going to give you like the entire chart. Maybe they're going to give you a list of the planets and the stars and the signs, what you have there. You're going to see probably degrees, and sometimes they do it together. Sometimes it's separate, but also the houses. Sometimes it just like in the Astro Cafe website that I told you. So they have like 3 tables, I believe. And the 3rd table is like shows you the sign or the planet, and it shows in which house is it located. So make sure you have the screenshots of everything. Now, then you're going to go to your favorite AI tool to use and read your birth chart. Just put all the screenshots. So I have to say that ChatGPT was giving a really good job regarding astrology until they update the latest model. And the latest model, I don't know, I don't like it with astrology. So now I use it, but I feel like you can find better answers. So because it's like, it became very general. Gemini gives great answers with astrology. And also I found out lately that Claude also gave amazing answers with astrology. So what you're going to do is take the screenshot of your birth chart, put it in Gemini, Claude, whatever. I love, first of all, to just tell it like write a list and just write in a document my birth chart with all the houses, planets, degrees, in what house is it. So I have it in a document that I can use later on, because sometimes when you use just the screenshot, after a few conversation, it gets lost. So I thought Gemini doing a great work with it, and also Claude. ChatGPT, if you're going to use just screenshot, it's going to forget what you were talking about just a few minutes ago. So if you use ChatGPT, I would recommend you to start maybe with Gemini and tell it, take the screenshots of my birth chart and just write a list of all the houses and planets so I can have it in hand. And if you want to start straight away, you can literally just have the screenshot of your birth chart and write down exactly these words, or you can write whatever you want also, because you need to just try out and see what works for you. You can just say, this is my birth chart. Can you please map my entire life in each area of my life and tell me what's the energy that I have? What's my purpose in life? Tell me every little detail that I need to know about my identity, about myself, and ask maybe if you have a specific question, if you want to know about your life, about your friendships, about money, about career, whatever, you can ask it. And then it will start giving you answers. It gives quite concise answers. So feel free to elaborate more on this topic. I would love to know, give me a full map of my love life, give me a full map of my career, what's the energy, what I'm meant to do. And at some point, ask the ChatGPT, this is my birth chart. Can you please tell me what's my purpose based on my North Node and South Node? And what do I need to know? You can also ask questions like, tell me things that I would probably never know if you didn't tell me. I love to ask this question because it always gives juicy stuff from your birth chart. And if you want to learn about astrology and the specific energies out there, you don't need to pay any app, because there's so many apps out there that take money. And I use a few apps, but the free version of them, of astrology, which I love, by the way. And you can just take your birth chart and tell the chat, this is my birth chart. Please tell me, you can do astrology for 2026. This is my entire birth chart. Please tell me what's going to be in 2026 in terms of energies in my life that I need to know. Combine it with the transits of the stars in the sky and all the planets placements now with my birth chart. It's very important that once you do the astrology, you tell the chat, this is my birth chart, and make sure you use the specific placements of the planets and the stars and transitions and everything to give you the accurate stuff. And listen, this is crazy. I'm telling you, I did it for so many people, the astrology stuff and the birth chart with the astrology, and literally everyone got different answers. And many times I did it on my phone for people who, of course, I met for the first time, or friends that my chat, of course, know nothing about them. And every time I give the most accurate answers. So I'm telling you, using AI to learn the entire astrology stuff, your chart, to understand the energies that you have in your life, this is something that we're going to see more and more in the upcoming years. And eventually everyone who's going to be born will know what's its purpose. This is a life-changing thing once you know how to use those tools, because it's just the energies. Of course, we're above it, but once you know how to use the energies that are now and connected to your specific DNA and identity, it makes your life so much easier. Also, I can tell you that once I published this podcast, of course, it was with intuition and everything, but the date that I choose was based on astrology. I'm not kidding. Astrology and numerology, and the time was and I use astrology, I would say, almost every day. Sometimes I have decisions that I need to make. Sometimes I have thoughts that I have, or intuition or whatever. And I love to understand the energies that I have in my life, because it helps me to just be more prepared sometimes, or just make sure I do the work right. And also, if you want to check your compatibility of your friendship or your partner, you can take both of your birth chart and just put it in the chat. You can say, just map the entire relationship, the entire friendship, and say what you see there, what's the compatibility, or whatever. And just feel free to explore and ask questions. You can ask whatever you want. And many of the times you will be surprised from the things you will learn if you actually go deep on this kind of stuff. You can learn from your birth chart about obstacles you have, about patterns you have in your life, about karmic stuff, about things that you feel stuck in your life. If you feel stuck in certain areas, you can actually learn from astrology and from your personal birth chart to understand what you can unlock. And it just helps everything to be much easier, I would say. The next thing I wanted to touch, but I feel this episode is already very long, is the transitions of the planet. So as I said, there's so many different planets, different signs, different stars, whatever. And the sky never looks identically the same. Every time there is a movement. So every time there's a different energy. And maybe you heard on social media, or if you haven't heard, but there's a lot of people talking about different transitions that we have in our life and reality and whatever. So a few interesting stuff that also you can talk about it a lot with the chat and like whatever chat you're using, and see how it's going to impact your personal birth chart. So two things that happening now that I think very cool to know if you don't know about. So one of the things that happened now, which is very significant, is Pluto in Aquarius. It happened in 2024. We start feeling the effect a few years before that, and we'll have Pluto in Aquarius until 2044, which is crazy energy. This is like one of the most significant astrological events in the 21st century. Pluto is the planet of transformation. If you remember, we talked about death, rebirth, everything related to it. And when it changed signs, the entire operation system of humanity basically have a massive update. So it's like you have your iPhone and you basically have an update for the entire phone. So it started from March 2023 and officially it entered in November 2024. And the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was in the 1700s, the era of the American and French Revolution and the start of the Industrial Revolution. So once you understand also like what's going on in the planets, it's so cool to learn what's going on in this world. Although, of course, you're going to see, but once you know what's going to happen, you can predict stuff. And also for business, like this kind of stuff, I know that sounds maybe woohoo a little bit, but it's incredible once you understand how to read it and to learn what's going to be the pattern and the energy that we're going to enter. So the old energy before Pluto was in Capricorn from 2008 to 2024, the power was more hierarchy, controlling the government, old institutions, like the big boss. The values were more money, status, land, more traditional career path. And the new energy, if you remember, we said Aquarius, it's more like community, more togetherness, more everyone is the same, I would say. It's more innovation. So the new energy that we entered is more like networking, power to the people, more communities, decentralization, collaboration, more about innovation, AI, technology, freedom, social justice, more about learning, knowledge. And the lesson is realizing that technology must serve humanity and not control it. So I remember like I understood it a few years ago once I learned the entire energy stuff. And it made a lot of sense because I remember I just felt, and I know I'm not the only one, but I just felt that we're going towards a world which is more like community based, less like hierarchy and all that kind of stuff. And when you look at the stars and the planet, it actually says the same. So it's very cool. And Aquarius, as I said, if you learn the energy of Aquarius, it's like very robotics, AI. It's also like, I would say, aliens, like all of this kind of stuff, the crazy like innovation and crazy technology. This is Aquarius, communities, all of it. So this is like the energy we're entering. And because it's Pluto, it's like actually death and rebirth. Another cool thing that we entered, which is like a cycle of 26,000 years, and we change sign every 2,000 years. This is like we entered now the age of Aquarius. So we have a lot of Aquarius now going on. The age of Aquarius, so as I said, it's a cycle that every 2,150 years, we basically move to a different sign, which is insane. Think about how many years it is. And it means the entire, and before that we were in Pisces, and we're still kind of in the transition between Pisces and Aquarius. But once you understand this is the energy we're going in, energy of Aquarius, you understand like the bigger things more and how they're going to happen. So we don't know like specifically if we're still in the Pisces, if we're in the Aquarius. There's different type of things people saying. There's a lot of people saying that if you remember in 2012, people said that the world's gonna collapse and it's gonna be the end of the world. So in the 21 of December 2012, it was like the first shift towards the age of the Aquarius. Also around COVID, before COVID, like in 2020, it was, many people say that we enter to this energy, start to feel this energy. And officially from many sources, people say that in 2030, we're going to enter completely to the Aquarius energy. And that's also like, I don't know, this is kind of conspiracy, but a lot of people say that eventually like governments and all the like big institutions and everything we say it's going to be the plan until 2030 is because there's going to be a huge shift in energy in 2030. So many things going to collapse, and it's kind of like the war now between keeping the old world and the new energy, whatever. You can say it's conspiracy, you can say whatever, I don't know, but this is like the energy we're entering, and we can actually see it since 2020. Things start to collapse, things start to crumble. It started from COVID, then like now with the AI, and you're gonna see that everything. And of course, like I'm not saying something new, but you can understand this is energy we're entering of more communities, crazy technology, robots and everything. AI will replace workplaces and everything. And you can actually see those things in the stars, which is insane. Another cool thing, which is, I know it's insane, but you can learn also about countries. Like each country has birth chart. I remember a year ago or even more, I sat with my brother and we just did like a birth chart to Israel. And we started playing around with ChatGPT. I know it sounds so crazy, I know, but I'm telling you, like many of the things that we asked actually happened this year. Also, like the hostage, I'm telling you, like everything. Also, there's a few astrologers that I'm listening to, and all the astrologers basically saying the same stuff, the same energy, because you can see in the stars like the exact energy that is here in this physical world. Of course, it's a matter of it can be changed, but in general, like you can learn the energy in the skies and understand what's going to be the effect here. You can see the effect also like with blockchain, all that kind of stuff. That's things that many people like astrologers and stuff saw it in the sky much before. Okay, so I think we went very deep in the last part of this video. I tried to give you a taste of astrology and to understand stuff. And also once you go on social media and see different kind of videos about astrology. So like rising sun, what does it mean? What does it mean? Venus, Pluto, like all of this kind of stuff to understand a little bit more. I really hope you took a lot from this video. And I really hope if you haven't done it so far, go and find out what's your North Node and South Node, because I'm telling you, this is a life-changing thing. What you learn, what's your purpose from astrology. And of course, as we said, you're above it. You have the free will also in Kabbalah and in Judaism. One of the things that they say all the time, that this is like the outline, the framework. You can learn your DNA, but eventually you have the free will to change it. Of course, like if something written in your birth chart, that doesn't mean that this is your destiny to do this and this and this, but it's something that can help you to learn yourself on a deeper way. And once you learn yourself on a deeper way, and then you can start choose what do you want to keep in your life, what you don't want to keep. But many times just mirror you things that you knew or thought you knew, and maybe you needed just verification for it. Thank you so much for staying here and listening to this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I forgot to say we're in 2026 already. So happy new year, everyone. I hope you had the most incredible start and beginning of this year. I hope we're going to have the most incredible year of our life for all of you, for all of us. and let's start. Thank you again. I'll see you next week. Bye.